us, and they had some blitzes, but right now it's a 4-week problem. We're holding on to the ball too long.
Does it have a chance to get fixed during the season?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think things always get fixed, right? You go back and you look at 2018, and that thing looked like it was heading for a disaster area, and we made corrections and fixed things, and that's our job as coaches, is to fix the mistakes and fix the problems. And so it's we got to do this collectively. We've got to coach it better, and the players got to take to the coaching and apply it. And you're going against a defense, right? That those guys are on scholarship, and they're good players too. And but it's just we're making the same mistakes, and that's what really frustrates me, is we're not learning. We're continuing to just we're loose with the football, and 5 turnovers is awful.
What is the biggest difference between fall camp Mitch Griffiths and the first 4 games Mitch Griffiths?
I mean, to me, it's live football now, right? In fall camp, you don't get touched. Got the red jersey on, and you can get a pass rush, and those kids are taught to buzz by you and not touch you, and that's always the hard thing at quarterback, right? Because there's a part of you that would like to make them live so they learn, but it's also the one position that really can't protect itself, and you don't want to risk an injury. And right now it's not just the interceptions. I mean, we had the fumble, and there was another fumble. So I think there was they have us for I think 4 fumbles, and we lost 2 of them, and then we threw 3 picks. So that, to me, we were 7 times we gave them an opportunity to recover the ball. So our ball security right now is just it's awful, and we take pride in that. And we've traditionally been a team that wins the turnover margin, and we're not giving ourselves a chance, and that's clearly problem number 1 right now.
I know you'll have to review the tape to get a more full sense, but did you get the perception that he was getting enough time in the pocket from the offensive line?
I mean, at times, and at times not. I mean, Spencer Clapp, I thought, gave us a great effort, but he didn't look completely healthy. They rushed us well, and at times I thought the pocket got dented and collapsed pretty quickly. I thought in the second half it got better. We made an adjustment, and we moved Matt Gulbin to right tackle, and we put Devontae Gordon to left tackle and put George Sell at guard, and I thought the pocket got a little bit better just because the way they were rushing the passer, I thought our tackles had to be at full strength. And again, I appreciate what Spencer Clapp did, but he was probably 60%, 70%, and it's hard to pass pro when you're behind in the game and 3rd and long when the other guy's teeing it off and he's 100%.
Maybe you gave up 5 plays on defense of 30 yards or more. What's the answer to fixing how many explosive plays you guys are giving up?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to go back and say, why did the explosive happen? And once there, and they came out and empty, and we got the call in late, and the kids didn't get a chance to get aligned. And I think we kind of, as a staff, have to own that one. And the other ones I don't recall what they were right now. I'm just going nuts with the turnovers right now. Those are the 5 plays, or I can't get out of my head. So I mean, the explosives are a problem, but I don't think those necessarily cost us the game. I thought our defense at times did a good job of getting the ball down and playing the next down. Deshaun got beat on a corner route, which is going to happen. And then I think the quarterback had a long run on the one late in the game, and at that point you're kind of blitzing and selling out and trying to get them off schedule and make a play. And sometimes when you do that, you lose the 3rd level of defense because you're in a 0 safety defense. But again, I'm not trying to avoid it. I just can't remember them all right now.
One more frustrating when you get to 1 score with 4 minutes to go and you have the ball. I mean, you're feeling pretty good right about that.
Yeah, you think you're going to go to overtime, and again, it's 1st down, throw it away, cut your loss. Right? The play broke down. he got flushed. Just throw it away. Don't force it, and let's come back on second down, and we'll get a good football play. I appreciate the competitiveness, but it's at times you got to cut the losses and live for another down, and that's to me what we got to learn. It's part of the process, and we've had other quarterbacks. I remember sitting here. It was probably 8 years ago against Louisville, and John Wolford, threw a bunch of picks in the fourth quarter when we had a chance to win the game. And, it's kind of a broken record, but sometimes when you break in a new quarterback, you go through these days. And, John learned, I think Sam learned, and I think Mitch will learn. But it's agonizing when you go through it. It's hard. So it'll be a couple of sleepless nights. We'll look at the film and get the bye week and try to make some corrections and figure out what we're doing and how we're doing and who we're doing it with, and come back and we got 8 more games.
That's good.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
What's the feeling like now in the locker room? You guys pretty down right now?
Yeah. But we're not, not turning on each other, things like that. Coach talked about that. We sticking together. We're just the same. Win or lose, we're going to wash it out. We're going to flush it out.
We know part of it is going to be looking at game film, but do you have any takeaways that you think are going to help as you go into the bye week?
I mean, I would say one takeaway for the defense specifically is just trying to create more havoc, as in trying to get the ball away more, creating turnovers. We didn't create any turnovers today like we did in the last 2-3 weeks, so that's going to be a point of emphasis going to the bye week.
Jalen, what's happening with how many explosive plays you guys are giving up?
Yeah, that's the point of emphasis as well. We talked about it all last year. That was getting us beat as well. So I forgot what the percentage was. He was just talking about it, Coach Lambert. Like when a team gets an explosive play on a drive, they're like 75% chance of scoring, getting points on the board. So, all of us as a collective just trying to stay over top. Keep everything funneled.
How does this team respond?
Putting in the work, not letting this get to us, not turning on each other. We have the talent, we have the people. We just got to put it all together. And it's gonna be day by day, just working hard in practice, going harder.
Jalen, after seeing this offense operate in spring and fall, are you kind of surprised to see them having the struggles they've had the last couple weeks? Because you've seen them put together good drives, you've seen them excel.
Right. It's just about the fundamentals. It's nothing to do with schemes or things like that. It's just the fundamentals, just taking care of the football, chinning the football, catching and looking in, things like that. That's basically it. It's fundamentals. We're good.
Is it good or bad you go into a bye week like this? It's never good.
It's never good, but it's definitely not all bad. We're obviously going to be focused going into the bye week, but now I feel like we just have more of a chip on our shoulder, to show everybody what we're about coming in 2 weeks. So we just got to work for it.
Jalen, was the feeling at halftime being down 17 again any similar to last weekend?
Very similar. Locker room's calm. Nobody bickering. Just, as a defense, we we was all good. You know, just going over the game plan, things we got to do, things we got to fix. But nobody was down, nobody was yelling, things like that. We was calm. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Any questions for Michael?
Michael, how do you evaluate the offensive line's performance tonight?
I don't know. I mean, I won't know until we watch it. You know, I don't really know. I won't know until we watch it. I think guys competed. I think guys were put in some really hard positions. George Sell played his first meaningful snaps. Clapp tried his best to go. Devontae played both sides of the line. Matt moving out to tackle mid-game. You know, those are all things that are really hard to do. And I think, you know, we'll see, I'm sure. I think it's like any time we have a game like this, right? We had 29 first downs, almost 400 yards. We're going to look back at it, and it's like we have 11 guys on the field at a time, and I don't know. I mean, how many plays do we have? 80? If we have 80 plays and each guy had 4 minuses throughout the entire game, but those are spread out across 44 different plays, then we're not getting the job done over half the time. And it's like that's the reality of it. It's you just have to do your job every play, and I think we're going to look back and everybody's going to have 2 or 3 bad plays, and that's going to hurt us.
Coach Clawson was pretty straightforward about how disappointed he was with making the same mistakes from last week to this week. Do you feel like it was along those lines, like it was a repeat in sorts of hanging on to the ball too long, pressure's breaking down, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a number of things. I think we put ourselves in that position that we have to hold the ball, and when we get into 3rd and long and 2nd and long, yeah, it's just like the whole year. We've been 40% on touchdowns in the red zone every single game. I don't know what we were this week, 2 for 4 maybe. I don't know. And it's like I think at the end of the day, football comes down to making this number up, but it's probably 85% turnovers in red zone, and it's like those can't be the 2 areas that we lack in. Historically, those have been our best 2 areas, and I think those are the 2 areas we have to improve on.
How do you improve on those in the middle of the season?
It's probably, like I said, it's probably, you know, guys lacking focus, and I don't think it's the players. I don't think it's the people. It's not like our unit's doing a bad job in those areas. It's like, you know, you just can't have those individually. You can't have 4 bad plays a game, 5 bad plays a game, especially in our offense. If one guy's not doing their job, it's going to hurt us. So I think it's just maintaining focus, you know, expecting it to be hard, and just, yeah, it's being critical of yourself and of your teammates and doing what's asked of you.
Anything else for Michael?
Are there moments tonight where the body language of the offense was concerning to you?
No, I don't think so. Not that I saw. I thought that the mood coming out in the second half was very similar to last week. I think to the end, we all truly believed that we were going to win the game. And, yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just, I think guys just have to, everybody just has to do their job and just focus.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks.
Everything I guess we just covered.
Joe Montana 2.0.
Sorry.
All right, any questions for Mitch?
Mitch, obviously we know part is going to be looking at the game film, but what, I guess, scheme-wise or what have you going on that kind of just, you know, threw the offense oftentimes?
You know, I think it was just at the end of the day, we weren't finishing drive, kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. We had a lot of yards total offense. Just kind of shot ourselves in the foot at times, and that's not that was everybody. I made plays that shot us in the foot. That wasn't just that was everybody. Schematically they're forcing us to run the ball, and I think we ran the ball pretty well. Just didn't finish drives, and then that's on me. I gotta help our team finish those drives.
What was the mood like coming out of the locker room for the second half? You guys were down 17 for the second week in a row. Did you have the confidence you could come back?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about this team is they always have a fight. We always believe we can win a game and always can come back. And we proved ourselves last week we could do it, and we were close again doing it this week. So I think there's always a belief in our locker room, and that really starts with the coach and just how he prepares us and how hard everybody plays. And obviously we weren't happy to come out of the first half down that score, but we weren't. There was no discouragement. There was no pointing fingers. It was just, hey, been here before. Let's rally and we'll get after it in the second half.
Mitch, what do you think is the biggest difference so far between spring and fall camp Mitch Griffiths and first 4 game Mitch Griffiths?
Yeah, I mean it's just obviously games are a lot harder than practice. You got to play 75 snaps opposed to 25, 30. And you get tackled and stuff, and you don't really get hit as a quarterback in practice. So it's just developing those good habits when things are live, and guys can strip you and obviously hit you while you're throwing. That doesn't really happen a ton in practice. So just that's obviously games are harder than practice.
Mitch, what did you see on that interception in the fourth quarter where you're going down to tie?
Yeah, just thought I could beat the underneath guy to the sideline with the ball, and I left it a little inside, and I just missed it inside. I thought I could beat him back to it. Yeah, pretty much it.
Mitch, what don't we or fans understand when we look at it and say you might be holding the ball too long? Like what parts of those plays do we not get that you can explain?
You guys are probably right. I gotta go back and watch the film and see what happens. I don't really know what the fans are saying. I don't go on Twitter at all or anything. It's good. It's never good. So I don't really look at it. So I don't really know what people are saying. But if I have to go back and watch the film, if I'm holding on to the ball too long, that's on me. That's you can't ask the offensive line to protect the entire game. They're playing their ass off. They're playing against good defensive linemen, especially when they're blitzing. That's on me. Have to get the ball out. So I mean, the offensive line played their tails off. They always play their ass off, and we have a damn good offensive line. So, sacks come up as people blame the O-line for sacks, but there's a lot more that goes into sacks than just offensive line play. So it's not on them. It's on me. So I gotta just continue to correct that.
What's the biggest thing you want to fix going into the time?
Just turnovers. Last 2 games did not have to. Especially tonight, didn't have to end the way it did if we didn't turn the ball over. It's, I don't. How many points they score off turnovers, I don't know, but it was probably the difference in the score of the game. And then last week, obviously turned the ball over, made it a lot more stressful than it had to be. Obviously ODU is a good team, but if we took care of business and like we did in the second half, that game should have been a lot different. And same thing for tonight. So just turnovers.
Gabe's sense of frustration when he came in here was based around the team making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Week after week. What's your level of frustration?
Yeah, I mean, frustrated, because I feel like I've let the team down. And, like I said last week, I don't like winning football games because it gets me, highlights in the press, whatever. I couldn't give a damn about that. I just love the guys in the locker room. I hate letting them down. And football's a team sport. And that's the only reason why I love winning is to look at everybody's face in the locker room, see them smiling, jumping, dancing. It's not because it makes me feel good. It's just because I love doing it with the guys. So just letting those guys down is the hardest part about it.
Guys all good?
I mean,
Thanks, Mitch.
appreciate you guys.
We got Justice Ellison, and then that'll be it. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Questions for Justice?
No limping allowed.
I know.
What's the biggest frustration with the offense not being able to produce tonight?
That's a lot of things.
I think valuing every play hasn't really been the best. We kind of sometimes like take that for granted, and I think it's going to be very important for us to learn how to focus on every play is not guaranteed. Every game is not. You can get hurt. Something can happen. And every single time you go out there, you got to give it your all. And I don't think that we have everyone yet doing that. I think that it could be a better job of us playing smarter football and executing our jobs. And ultimately, focus on what we can control and doing the best that we can do. Whether the coach calls run play or the throw, I've kind of had my mindset change from the years past. Like, I want the ball, I want this, I want that, I want this. But every time I go out there now, I know, God has blessed me with another play, another game, another day. So if we go all the way down the field and they passing the ball and I don't score at all, I'm going to make the best of that play. And I think that if we have all guys doing that, we can be very, very, very special. And we didn't do that tonight.
Sorry, Mrs. After the way the game went last week in the first half, was your expectation that things would look a little bit different this week?
I did. But at the end of the day, it's a game. I know the flow of game, sometimes it's not on your side. And a lot of times it's to do with what you do. We turn the ball over. You turn the ball over those times against a good team. It's hard. It's hard to win. It's very hard. And kudos to Old Dominion. They have talented players, but they're not Georgia Tech. And when you go out there and you make those mistakes, it's really hard to fight back. And we still fought back. I'm proud of the guys for fighting back, but we came up short. So we need to look back at what got us there and really critique those things, because you can't go out the whole season doing that,
And how impactful do you feel it is that in a lot of these games, as a team, Wake is having to dig itself out of holes to come back?
Can you repeat your question one more time?
What's your just reaction to the fact that in a lot of these games, Wake Forest is having to dig itself out of deficits, losing by a large amount early on?
Well, honestly, it's not really a huge thing. I feel like Wake Forest is known to go through tough times, adversity, so it's not big. But do you want to go into games like that? No, you don't. But the impact and my emotion and reaction to it is like, this is another opportunity to really, showcase what we can do. And tonight we came up short, and we got to go back to the drawing board. People can't point fingers. We got to be together, Like I said last week, everybody looks good when – everybody looks good when they're not getting punched in the face. But can you get punched in the face? Can you lose? Can you go down? And can you pick others up? That's the character of a man. And Mitch, my guy, I'm going to be there for him. I'm going to lift him up. And he's new. He's fresh. And that's all we have to do, man. All the other stuff, the media, everybody, telling us that we not this and not that, that stuff don't matter. So.
Justice, one of the things you just spoke about, missed opportunities. Of course, we know you're going to look at game film, but what adjustments do you think you're going to start on now going into the bye week so you're putting yourself in a better position to take advantage of the opportunities that are out there?
I think the attention to detail in practice, practice prepares you for the game. I emphasize that. My dad emphasized that when I was a little boy, when I was in high school. And everybody would laugh at me because I'm like, Justice running all the way to the end zone. But the reason why you go so hard in practice is because you're teaching yourself to give it your all every single play. So when you get out there in the game, you're going to make mistakes. You might lose a physical battle sometimes. That happens. We're human. But when you train yourself to do those things in the game, it's so much easier. And I think if we get the guys this bye week to buy into that and buy into being supportive and when you lose, a lot of times it's, let me get mine. That needs to go out the window, because it's not about everybody getting yours. It's about the team. So if we go into next week and realizing that every single time Coach calls Rip Raider, the receiver gets to the right depth, the O-line gets to the blocks, the running back picks up his block. If we do that on a consistent basis, then on Saturday we can have so much of that. you won't have as many minuses. So that really stems from the opportunity. So.
You hobbled off the field towards the end of the game. How are you physically?
Hey, my heart's good, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good, but you know, I got tripped up a little bit. It was a little dirty in the pile, but at the end of the day, you know, like I said, like you know, we gave them that game. You know, we handed it to them, and they didn't win that game. They know they didn't win that game at all. We handed it to them, so you kind of are blessed with games like that because you can learn and grow, and those games don't define you, but we got to do it, capitalize on it, and make the most of it next week or Clemson, because we got to go right up in their trap and win it. So
That's good. Thanks, Justin.
appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Justice. Yeah, nice bat.
No doubt.
Appreciate it, man.
Ooh.
Wouldn't want to forget that. Wouldn't want to forget that.
You're a good man.
I try. Do my best.
Yeah.
Those lights are fucking bright, man.
Better make pull it out.
No.
So,
Vito House City.
No way.
yeah, they got the Sam Leto driving